Well, in today's video we're going to talk about spacers. Now I see on forums and Facebook groups all over the place really, people saying, are spacers safe? Hit the subscribe button now. Don't forget to check out our back. Welcome back to the Idiot's Garage. Today we're going to Now, I'm only talking from my personal experiences, but I've been running them for the last 15, maybe 20 years. Anything from 15 mil all the way up to like 40, 45 mil. And I've personally not had any issues whatsoever. I mean, you've got to fit them correctly and get the right ones for the car, obviously. Well, I'm going to take you through how to fit one and what's a good one, what's a bad one, and we'll go from there. So what we've got is, so obviously like I said, we're talking about spacers. So this is like a spacer ring. Now you can see there's no longer bolts or anything on it, and it literally just slides over, and then you put your wheel on top of that. And the only problem you've got with like Nissans and a lot of these other ones, these studs aren't actually long enough. Okay, so you need longer studs, but some people have used them. I wouldn't recommend that. Right, so yes, as I was saying, so this is a hub centric one, so that is the correct bore to go over your hub. Okay, and then on the other side it gives you again to go onto your wheel. This is the bore that you then have. Not all wheels are going to be the same. This is when you get a spigot ring. The spigot ring will sit on top of there, and then that will be the right size for your wheel. Again, very easy to buy, very easy to do. So these, literally, you slide them across and you get these smaller bolts. Now these smaller bolts sit inside here. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do these 5 bolts up to bolt it to the hub. So as you can see, it's just loose now. Now the problem with the front one is obviously there's no handbrake to hold it still. So what you need is you need a midget. There's our midget. He's going to go and push the foot brake, which will then hold that still so we can do these up. Paul's going to push the brake down now to hold it still, and then I am just going to tighten these right up, obviously doing it across from each other like you do when you're doing a wheel. I'm not going to torque these up. I've always believed in f***ing tight. Right, and then we just go around and just double check. So now my wheels aren't the size of these hub centrics, so I've got my spigot ring, which are like £4 for like 4. Okay, so you stick that on, in comes your wheel. If the car's jacked up high enough, which might not be now, miles high enough, and then we just go in with our bolts, and that is as simple as that. And like I say, this may not be 1,000 brake horsepower GTR or a Lamborghini or anything, but I've never had issues, and I've never heard of anyone actually having issues with spacers before. Obviously, as long as you're being sensible, using spigot rings, using hub centrics, and just making sure it's done up tight, really. Will stand, tighten the wheels back up, and that's the spacer on. Right, so up comes the axle stand. So we've just tapped in the wheel nuts, so we're just going to let it touch the floor so we can now just tighten these up. And that is a spacer on, done back up and fitted safely. You won't have any problems with that. Thanks for watching the latest video. Please hit that subscribe button and we'll see you all again very, very soon.